I had Tiger Balm all over my body. I had a lot of Tylenol in my system. I actually took a shot of alcohol, which I think I have to bleep out before my deadlifts because it is gym leader Reno here. Today's gonna be a little different video. I'm gonna be live reacting to my Nationals meet recap while recording. So this is my first time going back through it. Nationals was in Atlanta last week. I'm gonna be taking you guys through how I did overall and talking you through what was in my head, what I know now for next time, and what you guys can expect or should do in your first or next competition. So if you guys want to learn a little something and watch me through my meet, stick around and we're gonna go through all 9 of my attempts from this meet. Okay, so first up, if you know nothing about a powerlifting meet, you get 3 attempts in each exercise: squat, bench, and deadlift, in that order. So first up with my squat PR is 140 kilograms, which is 308 pounds. I hit that at my last meet a couple months ago, but because of my back, I was unable to squat anything over 200 pounds 2.5 weeks prior. So this was a real toss-up going in. My first attempt, we opened super light at 120 kilograms, 264 pounds. I ended up getting injured before the meet because I was not properly bracing my abs. So when I would put a lot of pressure on my low back without realizing. I accidentally strained my back. So what was going through my mind during these squats was, hey, brace properly and you shouldn't be in any pain. As you can see, that first attempt moved really smooth, but you can see on my face how focused I was to not put myself in pain and fail to squat mid-rep. My second attempt, I went 10 kilograms to 130. That's about 286 pounds. Same thing, just wanted to make sure that I could squat without being in pain. You see me take a deep breath and then exhale. I was trying to brace as I exhaled. That way I wouldn't take too big of a breath and expand my low back. That one moved really well. As you can see, I got 3 white lights for that. For those of you unfamiliar with powerlifting, there's 3 judges. There's 2 on the side of you and 1 in front of you. Each of them can either give you a red light or a white light. A red light is not a good lift, and a white light is a good lift. So if you have 2 out of 3 of either color, that determines the lift. So if it's 2 reds, no lift. If it's 2 whites, it's a good lift. Ideally, you want 3 whites. It means you did nothing wrong. So I was in no pain after my first 2 squats, which was unbelievable because I definitely expected to be in pain, especially after not being able to squat 200 leading up to this meet. So I said, let's put on another 10 kilograms. It moved really well and try to match my previous meet PR. So we actually went up to 140 kilograms, 308 pounds, and you can see even as I'm setting up, I'm really locked in. I felt a lot of pressure on my back unracking the bar, right? Just all the compression. And when you see I inhale, I exhale, you see me brace and position myself to squat. And it was such a grind at the top because obviously I was not prepped for squats at all. But hey, 2 white lights and I matched my meet PR with an injured back. So I was totally happy with that. Moving on to bench. Bench is technically my specialty area. So for those of you that don't know, you will finish up your squat and then the rest of the competitors will finish up their squat, and then you get a 10-minute break in between before the bench starts. And so it's normally like for me, I think I got about a half-hour break in between my squatting and my benching. So it's good. You get to go to the back, you get to eat some snacks, refuel, rehydrate, go to the bathroom if you need. So and then warm up for bench. And my warm-ups felt pretty good. They felt strong as usual. My back didn't interfere with my bench at all, so I figured might as well match my PR, which is 226 pounds. I believe it's 102.5 kilograms. Could be wrong. Last meet I hit 220 pounds, which is 100 kilograms, and I really wanted to PR my bench on this one, so we opened a little higher than usual. We opened at 92.5 kilograms, which is about 204 pounds, which is a fine weight for me, but definitely we opened higher expecting to hit a PR at the end. And so for those of you that don't know powerlifting, when the bar touches your chest, the judge has to tell you when to press it up. So as you can see here, that's a pretty long bench pause. You can see it sits on my chest for like a full second, which doesn't seem like a long time, but when there's 200 pounds on your chest, you know, that's a long time. It still moved fine, even though there was a long pause. So we went up to 97.5 kilograms, which is about 215 pounds. So still a weight that I've hit before, I was comfortable with, but I definitely realized that they are making me pause it heavy on my chest. So you see me get my normal setup here. I have a pretty wide grip. You see my middle finger goes on the ring of the knurling there, so that's almost as far wide as you can be in this federation. So you see it bounce on my chest a little bit. I misgrooved it. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar with what a misgroove is, it's when you lose the straight path of the bar. So ideally, in all three events, right, squat, bench, and deadlift, you kind of want your bar to be as straight as possible from the side view. And sometimes if you just hit you get a little out of whack or unbalanced, it can really mess up your whole lift. So you can even see, kind of out of the ordinary for me, it bounces a little bit on my chest, which normally doesn't happen, and on my press, that's why I had that little pause there. Nonetheless, I still got 3 white lights, so it was a good lift, and I told my coach and my handler, I said, you know what, it was a little slow because of the misgroove, but I think I should still take 226 and not 220. And honestly, I really thought I had 226. Like, I knew that it was slow because I misgrooved it. I was so confident. I mean, there really wasn't a doubt in my mind because especially since I've hit 226 before in the gym. So right here, I'm setting up. We got Gino, the powerlifting pirate, behind me cheering me on for this one. He's powerlifting's mascot, if you don't know. Right here, we go down. Long pause. Start to press and realize I didn't have it and told them to take it. So that was 102.5 kilograms, 226 pounds. Would have matched my gym PR, but it would have been a PR for me in competition. I did not misgroove it. Everything was right. I literally just, the strength was not there. And sometimes, you know, you just have to admit that, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. That was my all. Like, I gave my all. There was nothing I would have changed. And sometimes you just don't have the strength. It's not there on the day. And that was a long pause. And I don't blame the judges or anything. I'm not one to complain about that. So, I mean, it's nationals. You know, this is the highest level competition. They were making everyone do long pauses. So I should have played it smarter. I think I should have stuck with 220 pounds, which would be 100 kilos. And I feel like I definitely could have grinded that out. So, and that would have been an extra 2.5 kilograms on my total. So in a competition like this, when it's so close, I mean, you're literally beating people by 2.5 kilos, sometimes tying with them. It's just something to consider, right? You want to get your maximum weight while not missing all of your lifts or all of your third attempts, right? Because if I had made a smarter decision to go with 100 kilograms and I got that third attempt, I would have added 2.5 kilograms. Whereas here, I went with 102 to try to add 5 kilograms to my total, and missed it, and it ended up with negative 2.5 kilograms for my third attempt, technically, if that makes sense. I know powerlifting math is kind of a lot, but obviously if you miss it an attempt, then you get nothing on your total. So just something to think about when you're loading those weights on at a meet. It's really easy to get caught up in the adrenaline and the excitement and just think, oh yeah, I could totally hit this PR, but sometimes you gotta be a little realistic, and hopefully your coach or your handler or whoever's there with you is saying, hey, just think about this before you put it on. I've been in the position of athlete and handler, and neither of them are easy, but just sometimes you gotta go for it in competitions, and sometimes you look back and realize, hey, I should have played it safe, but there's nothing you can do after the fact. So moving on to deadlifts, this is the show, man. I mean, I had no idea how my back was gonna hold up for this. I had Tiger Balm all over my body. I had a lot of Tylenol in my system. I actually took a shot of alcohol, which I think I have to bleep out, before my deadlifts because I didn't want to be in pain. And I had not deadlifted more than 300 pounds 3 weeks leading up to this meet because I strained my back. And really, I just did not want to DQ. If you're unfamiliar with powerlifting, if you don't get one attempt in of one of the exercises, then it's an automatic disqualification. So if I missed all 3 of my deadlifts, I would get disqualified, which has happened to me in the past. At Collegiate Nationals 3 years ago, ironically, I also had a back injury. I was in the warm-up room trying to deadlift my warm-ups, and I realized that I could not deadlift, so I didn't even go out on the platform. I didn't deadlift, and I ended up getting disqualified. So it's like I never even competed. So my goal after minorly straining my back 2 or 3 weeks before this meet was, hey, let's not get disqualified. So what I did was I loaded 125 kilograms, 275 pounds, which is 100 pounds less than my PR. Really, really safe bet here. Listen, you got to get on the board. First attempts, squat, bench, deadlift, should always leave you room in case everything goes wrong. Like, God forbid, on squat, you're missing depth, right, for some reason, or judges are calling it really harshly. Or like on bench, the handoff is weird, or the judges are calling long pauses, right? I mean, smart decision is always your openers. Make them lower than you think you need to, because you can always go up, but you cannot go down. So on that note, we start off with deadlift number 1, 125 kilograms. Super light, but for a strained back, nothing is light. I mean, like, it could not move faster than that. 3 white lights. I was like, you see me nod as I get off the platform. I was like, heck yeah, that felt good. Like, I'm ready. I didn't have any pain with it, and I was like, all right, hey, let's load some weight. I was like, we're on the board. I actually went backstage to the warm-up room. I started screaming. I was like, I'm not disqualified, because it's happened to me before, and it's such a minor thing, and I'm pretty sure everyone else in the warm-up room was like, what the heck? But I was so happy to hit this easy lift, just because injuries are really scary and you don't know what's gonna happen. I did not know if I would be able to deadlift on competition day, and the fact that I had already squatted and benched and they went pretty well, and I just hit my first deadlift, I was like, you are kidding, like, I'm not disqualified. And so I was like, let's put some real weight on the bar now, right? So for second attempt, we went up to 150 kilograms, which a 25 kilogram jump for someone my body weight is a large amount. It's more than 50 pounds. So then I had 330 pounds on the bar, which is still an easy number for me normally. And I still hadn't lifted over 300 pounds in the weeks prior. Like, since I had hurt my back, I hadn't lifted over 300 for some reason. I had attempted it and failed. So I was really nervous about just being over 300 pounds. But I was just telling myself, like, hey, even if you feel pain, pull through it, right? Like, you have nothing to lose. So it was really a mental battle here. You can see I'm pretty locked in, right? I was also trying to brace correctly, right? Not put that pressure on my low back, same as squats. You see a huge smile there as I put it down. I mean, like, that probably moved faster than it's moved, like, before getting injured. I mean, that was just so fast, really. It looked almost the same as my first attempt, and I felt no pain. And I was probably a little buzzed at this point. I only had one shot, but I'm super lightweight. Um, it did help the pain though, I think. Um, but I was like so happy. I mean, 330 is really some real weight. I felt like at 275 we opened with super light to get on the board and not disqualified, and then 330 was a toss up, right? I didn't know if I could lift it or not, especially lift it without pain, which I had no pain, and so I was like, hey, we could put 400 on this bar right now, and which, okay, a little overzealous. It's over my max of 375, but like I felt really, really good. However, we had a choice to make, which was we could either load a lighter weight, but it would get me qualified for next year's nationals, or we could load a heavier weight in hopes of making the podium in the junior category. So the podium is obviously first through third place, which I had a very real shot at making actually third or second with a heavier pull. Or if you hit the qualifying total, which is 400 kilograms total, you can re-qualify for next year's nationals, meaning that I would not have to compete for a whole year. I would get a whole year off season, which after getting injured and having back-to-back meets, I was like, you know what? I guess the smarter thing is to go with a lower number, not break my back in half, and qualify for next year. So we loaded 165 kilograms, which is almost 364 pounds, which really, my max is 375, which is 170 kilos. So this is only about 10 pounds under my max anyway, so it wasn't really a safe bet or anything, especially not with my back. But since I wasn't in pain, I was like, I feel really good. I think we could load anything, but we took the safer route. Went with 165 kilograms, which if I pulled this would get me at 402.5 kilograms total, which will qualify me for next year's nationals. So you see me setting up here. You see me roll the bar back a little bit because you can see that it was like really slippery in that one spot for some reason. Like I think baby powder fell off of someone in that spot. And you need good foot placement on the ground when you're lifting this much weight. So I just rolled the bar back. They let you do whatever you need to set up, so it didn't matter. And heck yes. Heck yes. Um 3 white lights, you see me give the 2 thumbs up, like, hey, we're good, we just did that. And I ended with 402.5 kilogram total between all 3 lifts. That actually moved so fast, like, you even hear on the live stream, or like, my family was telling me on the live stream, the announcers were like, oh, she easily has 20 more kilograms in the tank, like, whatever, blah.
70, wow. Okay, you know what? I may have been right. Alana may have had 20 to 25 more kilos because that third attempt was quick.
And I like, think I totally did because that moved so fast. It didn't even look like a third attempt would normally look. I mean, most people are like grinding out third attempts. And obviously it was 10 pounds under my PR, but still, like, to move that fast, I think I at least had like 20 more pounds left in the tank, or 25 even. maybe even more, honestly. I think I could have gone like somewhere close to 400 because I just felt so on. Even with my back being strained, these deadlifts felt so smooth. I didn't feel any pain. So, I was just really grateful for the whole day. I mean, going in with no expectations, no hope. My only goal was, hey, let's not get disqualified and let's not hurt myself even more. Um, and then to match my squat PR, come so close to PRing on bench, and get like 10 pounds under my deadlift PR. I mean, and then I ended up getting fourth place in juniors, which I was 2.5 kilograms away from third place. And I think like 7.5 kilograms away from second. So, if I got my bench, I would have been third. And I think if I wasn't injured, I'd have a shot at first even because it was definitely within reach. But see, that's just one of those things where you got to weigh out your options when you're selecting your attempts, right? But even so, I was just so grateful. So fourth in junior and seventh in open, which junior category is 20 to 23-year-olds. So it has a little bit of a lower qualifying total, and obviously it has that age range. And then open is every age can compete in it, but you have to get a way higher qualifying total. So I was lucky enough to qualify for both. So I signed up for both. And juniors is a smaller category, so naturally I placed higher in juniors. But seventh in open, even like injured, I mean, my first nationals, I was not really mad about it. I was just grateful, really, to even be able to put up these numbers and not get disqualified. And like in the back room, in the warm-up room, I ran into so many strong powerlifters or people I follow on Instagram that I've never actually met in person, and just got to talk to so many cool people and so many coaches, so many lifters, and it's really a community. I mean, that's the best part of it, and I love that part of it. So going to these huge meets like this with the best of the best there, and the best of the best coaches, and the best of the best judges, and the best of the best lifters, I mean, it is surreal. Like, it feels amazing. If you are thinking about competing or you're thinking about getting to this level, number one, if you don't compete and you're thinking about it, definitely compete. Number two, if you're like, I compete, but I don't think I want to get there, like, try your best to get there, because I think it is such a surreal experience and so cool to be around all these people. If anyone has any questions about competing or powerlifting or nationals or anything like powerlifting or competition related, leave them down below in the comments, and I will try the best of my ability to answer. And like this video if you liked it, enjoyed it, and support me, and subscribe if you really want to, because that would be cool. I will be coming out with more powerlifting videos in the future. And that is all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you like following along with my competition. So, yeah.